Yeah, when I went, I was like, I think I have a really bad sinus infection. They just like started laughing. They're like, oh, girl. Welcome to the club. Yes. Welcome to the club. I'm like, this is terrible.
What are they gonna do?
They say that because of global warming, that pollination is extended or go, we have more pollen air. So what used to last for pollination used to last for 30 days, now lasts for 60 days. Yes, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what it is.
Explains why my allergies are lasting 3 weeks.
That's
It's been a really rough month.
I just thought it's because it's so windy.
appreciate you. I'll run back over there and go grab it.
It makes a little sense.
Good. All right, welcome everybody to our Courthouse Square Historic Preservation Commission, calling to order. We have an agenda in front of us. Can we get a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. None opposed. Approval of the minutes from March 3rd. If nobody has any changes to them, can we hear a motion to approve, please?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Is there any staff report?
Not today.
Okay, we'll jump into it. Public hearing case number 472, COA requested by Oliver Hospitality Group for changes to the outdoor patio at 425 South Lamar Boulevard.
Can you swap it?
I can.
Okay, so the applicant seeks approval for several changes to the existing patio space, which fronts the corner of University Avenue and South Lamar Boulevard. We're talking about the Oliver Hotel patio. Proposed changes include demolishing the existing knee walls and installing new pavers, installing new planter boxes and benches, new millwork banquettes to add a new water feature, and to add a new outdoor service station cart, and to install new pergolas with retractable fabric shades. The existing Edison bulbs will be relocated onto the proposed new pergolas, along with new pendant lights and fans that will hang from the pergolas. All of these elements are not items that are explicitly covered in the Oxford Design Guidelines. Staff does not have concerns about these additions. The material and style are in keeping with the materials existing on the site. It's a newer building built in the 2000s, and so no historic building facades or features will be obscured by these additions. So for that reason, staff is recommending approval of the COA. I'm happy to answer any questions. I know that our applicants are here as well. You guys are welcome to speak or answer questions.
Yeah, so we've had a staff a proposal or presentation. If y'all want to come up and give a presentation, you can. If not, then just be on call for questions.
We're happy to answer questions.
Okay, great. Any discussion among commission we'll have you come up and speak. Let us have some discussion among commissioners, and then we'll invite people to come up to speak. Okay. Any discussion or questions for the applicant among commissioners?
I had a question about the pergola. It was kind of, I guess, undefined by manufacturer. Is that just a steel tube that is painted, or is it wood?
We have looked at both black metal, aluminum, or wood. The black metal is actually more in keeping with the rest of the architecture.
Yeah, I would agree.
In that way, but we're open to going with wood if community feels that it's probably the way to.
No, I think the black steel would be appropriate in this case to match the wrought iron that fits in as well. The awning, the retractable awning, is that the wave? That wasn't really defined either.
It's a canvas.
The canvas?
We want to keep it open as much as we can, but just the patio itself becomes so hot.
Right, yeah.
We can't sit out there, so that's the reason why it's manually retracted.
Right.
With a line, during that. During the rain, it doesn't protect against rain. It's simply a lightweight
Yeah.
shade.
And is that retractable? Is it above? Is it dropping down, or is it both?
It's just it's like a loop. It's like a little.
Yeah, it's like the bowls. They're
Right.
like.
And it just stacks back.
In the pergola itself.
It just stacks back against one side. Not within the pergola. The pergola itself is just a frame,
Mm-hmm.
and it just stacks to one side, and then
And it's canvas, is there a color?
You're looking at like a duck cloth type, just a white canvas.
Okay.
We have an awning up there now that we placed about a year ago that is literally bleached out, so, in a year. So
Yeah, the sun's brutal. And the metal, are you thinking steel and field painted or powder coated aluminum? Okay, good.
That's what's up there now, and it's just a match. That's what's there now, the Oliver logo, and that, the more that we're able to, we're gonna continue to draw and bring the ivy in, cover the
Okay.
I just, point of clarification, the awning, the retractable awning is in the pergola, in the structure, the pergola structure itself? What was it? Where is the retractable awning?
It's the roof itself.
Of the
So, yes.
Okay, all right, yes.
Are you having anything that's dropping down in between? No, so it's only a kind of roof-like, okay, all
I
right.
took it to be like a roof of a pergola, but it won't be out all
Yes, it's only there for when it's super sunny out. We looked at when, the shade sails, it's such an odd shaped, patio that we weren't able to do something like that. That would have been more of a permanent install. We feel like this is a little bit more friendly to the guests and to the neighborhood as well. It's not as, something that pulls back and, sort of have a site for the most part.
time. We've actually had businesses install the larger, like, pull out from the actual building, sunshade before, and that's when they had really bad wind issues, so. Yeah, so it's more concentrated.
Any other questions for the applicant from the commission? Okay, sir, if you want to come up and speak, please come on up to the podium. And if you would, just state your name for the record. Yes, sir.
Thanks. I am Larry Wells, and I live at 510 South Lamar, Faulkner House. It's next door to Chicken on a Stick, Chevron. And I realize your commission is for appearances, for historic, for the historic preservation. But my concern is noise violations, potential noise violations. We can basically, our neighborhood can basically live with the Velvet Ditch, but the competition that might grow between these two outdoor bars, and I know it's not a bar, but it's basically a gathering of people who are drinking and partying, has the potential of being really, really noisy. And you would assume that the Oliver would need to increase their sound level to attract people away from, there'd be a competition, in other words, a music sound competition. In the past, the Oliver has allowed music to be played, live music, so loudly it rattled the panes at my house. And it seems to me that is, I don't know if it was a violation of the city's 65 to 75 decibels, but when you combine the two and they're competing, it's going to be very noisy. Also, I think that the restrictions that were placed on the Velvet Ditch, which are no sound stage and no live music, should also apply to the Oliver. It's only fair that they have the same restrictions. And they started work on it today before you even ruled. I think that's out of order, don't you? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wells. Maybe it is out of order. That would be a question for the building permit office. And for the sound and live music, those conditions were not placed by this commission. That would have been for the planning commission, and that's who placed that. I'm not sure that we really have the ability to place a restriction like that as a historic commission. I don't think that they're going before planning commission on this. I'm not sure how a restriction on outdoor music could be done at this point with them not going before planning commission, but I think it's something that you would probably want to talk to Ben and staff about. Like you said, we're a aesthetic review, so things like that, we welcome people to come and give their input. It's just not necessarily something we can take action on. Recognize your concern, it's a valid concern. I recognize the comment about fairness between the two. I think that's a very good point. I would have to say our commission is here for aesthetics in keeping with historic preservation and historic character of the square. And I don't think those are things we can necessarily, we could talk about if there was a stage, that's where there's some overlap, where we could say no stage. If they were showing speakers everywhere, we could talk about the physical nature of the speakers. But that's kind of where our purview stops, I'm afraid. Any other comments from the commission along those lines? I guess, do you want to respond to that? And I should say, come to the I should have said before, come to the mic if you wanted to, or if you don't.
I'm going to introduce, this is the general manager.
Please come up. We're streaming, we have people.
Yeah, this is on record, so I should have had John.
I apologize.
It's okay.
You're good. Just has to introduce your name.
I'm Tina Harbour. I'm the general manager at the Oliver. In response to the gentleman about the noise, I think since I've been there, we've probably had music outside maybe twice, and I've been there over 2 years, and it's been like a little two-man band. I think we did it at our grand opening. We had a couple, and then a couple of weeks ago at a wedding, we had I think a three-piece band. And he did call, and it's the same time the Velvet Ditch opened, and so there was, and Harrison's also was having a big party that night, so there was music coming from 3 locations. So it's not just at the Oliver, and when he has called, we have lowered our music. We're not trying to compete with the Velvet Ditch. We don't have speakers out there that we're blaring, and it probably will now limit some of the Velvet Ditch will probably limit some of our patio receptions because of what's happening over there. But we're in no way trying to compete or make noise, unnecessarily. And like I said, at times when he has called, we have lowered, we have talked to the gentleman about lowering the noise on our end. So as far as anything else happening there, we're trying to stay under code.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it is a code enforcement issue, so I would, and we are not dismissing at all what you had to say or your concerns. It's just not something we can necessarily take action on. So keep calling, that's what can hold folks accountable on that noise ordinance. All right. Any other questions from the commission? If not, it seems like we're working our way towards a motion.
I move to approve as presented.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, case number 473, COA requested by Backwoods Hospitality Group to install lighting and to replace an existing door at 1112 Van Buren Avenue.
Okay, so this is the building with a business that Old Venice was formerly in that's being redone currently, 1112 Van Buren Avenue. The applicant seeks approval to replace the existing front fixtures and to install a new side door impediment in Faulkner Alley. The building, circa 1910, is listed as non-contributing in the Courthouse Square district due to alterations. The proposed fixtures for the front are simple in style and do not detract from the character of the building. The existing fixtures to be replaced are not original. The proposed new wood door will also replace an existing non-original wood door. If you guys have ever been to Secret Grilled Cheese, you're familiar. photos of which are included with this report. The applicant also proposes a new pediment to sit above the door. While such a decorative pediment is not typical for this simple commercial building, particularly for a side entry, the element will be invisible except to those passing through Faulkner Alley. Staff finds both elements of this proposal acceptable, though the proposed pediment would not be appropriate in areas with more visibility. In this instance, it will not detract from the character of the historic district. One other thing to note, and this is something that we obviously can't do since I wrote the staff report, but I was speaking with Jonathan, our building official, and Ben about the side door, and it currently opens into the alley, and that will have to be remedied since it's opening into public right-of-way. So we're recommending that they install an interior vestibule into the space like you see all over the square, like at Burger Company, at places where they've installed a new front entry, so that that door can swing inwards and not outward into the city right-of-way. So
It would still swing outward, but it would.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Not in the public right away.
it would swing outward into their vestibule
That's right.
and not into actual Faulkner Alley. So that's something to be worked out with the building department. So we're not recommending that, we're still recommending approval of the COA, just with a note that that's going to have to be worked out before permits are issued.
Thank you, Kate. Any questions for Kate among the commissioners?
And the applicants are here if anyone has questions for them.
Is the intention for that door for it to be, I should invite you to come up to the podium, please, first. Thank you.
Haven't been in front of the microphone enough lately.
Is the intention for this door, which is it to become a point of sale?
So it'll be a separate entrance essentially. So it will be a back alley entrance to a speakeasy.
Okay.
Yes.
So it is for an entrance into an establishment. It's not like a kitchen back door or whatever.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And so to be clear, that door, that opening would have to be pushed back as far as it takes to be able to fully open that door and not have it protrude into that sidewall.
Yeah.
So if you change the door, then that vestibule will have to be created. That's my code.
And we currently, the way that the interior is set up is that it would be pretty simple to have a door swing inward and have a vestibule entrance there. And that would just be some sheetrock, as simple as that. Is that what you're proposing? Yeah. Yeah, that would be very
The
simple.
door's gonna swing out.
Right. And honestly, I think it would give a little mystique too for the speakeasy. So I think it's a great idea.
So the door would still swing out, you're just going to push it in?
It would be pushed in with a vestibule entrance, and then you would come around the corner to be in the bar.
Okay.
And we can work that out with the building official, whatever plans he needs to see for issuance of permits there.
And then these sconce lights, so these are for the front to replace the little small sconce lights that are on
Yes,
either
currently
side?
there's some black, very modern lights that I don't even think look historic, so I would like to replace them with something that has more historic charm. And these are real copper, so they will patina with age.
Are they undercover? Like, are they under balcony above?
They are under a balcony.
So they're not going to get rained on? Because that patina
Right.
can kind of wash down on the...
Well, if we had to replace them, we'd be happy to do so. We got these at a price point which wouldn't be difficult to do that.
And then the color of the door, the new door, is going to be painted or left wood?
So the back door would be painted a high gloss to kind of add a little ambient character for the speakeasy.
You have a color picked out? We don't review color, I'm just curious.
Right, yes. We were gonna do either a very deep dark blue or a very deep dark green. And I was told also that you guys were planning to add a mural for that alleyway. And so if there is anything to review, I would love to make sure that the two complement one another.
There was a Leadership of Fayette project where a mural was approved, but I'm not sure what the status of that is currently.
Either
She
way,
was
I think
mentioning a
both
mural,
will
and I
look
was like,
great.
there's already discussions about a mural.
I think a dark blue or a dark green though, however, I'm sure that those colors are gonna be incorporated. So I think that they'll all work together nicely.
The existing, yeah, the lights are underneath.
Just barely underneath.
Yeah,
I
they're,
just-
Oh, so your concern is about the copper washing out?
Yeah, as copper ages, you can see even on our square cases where it's that green starts running down the face of the building, so.
I could see about, sometimes they have the sealed copper where that might not be an issue, and that's something that we could look into doing. That's a
would-
concern.
Suggest to you that you consider doing something
Okay,
like that.
yeah, we can do a sealed copper.
Just a question, the back will be the speakeasy and the front will be the restaurant, right?
Yes.
Okay.
There's no other changes planned to the front other than this office.
No, we're gonna do a fresh coat of paint on the door and obviously a new door sign, and other than that, that's it.
Lighting in the alley, there was some discussion about you maybe want to do lighting, but the city's doing lighting too.
I'm open to whatever. I mean, we saw that it's pretty bright white in that alley, and so I did think that we could do some really beautiful hanging gas lights, kind of like a New Orleans feel down that alley, and we'd be happy to front that cost. But I was told that y'all recently replaced
The
them,
city
but
just installed the lighting.
yeah, so it's fine, whatever y'all want to do. But I did think it would add a little charm to that alleyway that's kind of been forgotten. We just want to make it something that's a little bit more of a focal point.
I think that's something that if we want to keep talking about it, perhaps, I mean, lighting is something we sometimes administratively approve, particularly in an hour. So,
Yeah,
Or-
everything I'd be doing would be adding charm for sure. Yeah, for that alley.
So, if a motion is made, I think a motion should be made with a condition that the applicant work with staff and building department on clearances for the door and any proposed lighting in the alleyway.
Okay, that sounds great.
Any other questions or comments from the commission? Is there a motion along those lines?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Y'all clear on what that condition would be?
Subject to your condition, yes.
Okay. All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right,
Thank you.
thanks. All right, our next case, I believe we have a recusal.
Mr. Chairman, I need to recuse myself from this one.
Yes, sir. See you next month.
Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah, you can just go.
You're done.
Thank you for that invitation. Y'all have a
Get out of
good,
here.
y'all have a good week.
You too.
It like,
It breaks,
I know.
it breaks the link, so you have to refresh.
and then I tried opening it a bunch of times.
You just have to refresh.
Switch all of them to the thing. Thank you.
All right, case number 474, COA requested by the Pants Store to paint the existing building at 818 East Jackson Avenue.
Okay, so our applicant for this item, Michael, is joining us online. You can see he just popped up. Okay, so this is a case related to 818 East Jackson Avenue, formerly Rebel Books, which is now going to be the Pants Store. The applicant seeks approval to paint the existing building, which is currently unpainted. Signage for this building was recently administratively approved, which is was linked in your report. The building is described in the Historic Resources Inventory Survey as a circa 1990, one-story, 4-bay frame with brick veneer, outplan commercial building. The Oxford Design Guidelines note in the masonry section that bricks and stones that have never been painted should remain unpainted. Commercial sealants or waterproof coating should not be applied. The reason that we're hearing the case today is because proposals for painted brick appear frequently before both preservation commissions, despite the note above in the Oxford Design Guidelines. Both commissions have typically been more lenient with newer buildings. There's less concern with maintenance issues with a veneer than with a brick frame building, and the durability of modern brick and brick veneer is different than a softer historic brick. For these reasons, staff does not object to the request to paint the building. So staff is recommending approval of the COA as proposed, should the commission find painting the building appropriate. And I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about that. And then Michael, if there's anything you'd like to say, you're welcome to.
We're just excited about coming to Oxford, and appreciate you letting us present the case tonight in front of you guys.
All right, any discussion among the commission on this one? I would just want to point out and sort of double down on what Kate said, that we are sensitive about painting of historic brick, especially when that historic brick is a actual structural bearing wall in historic structures. But even with older brick veneer, we can be sensitive about that. I have no problems with it on this one personally. All right.
Make a motion to approve.
The motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Aye. All right, you have your approval. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any staff business?
Yes.
All right.
Got one more
Ben's
thing.
got it.
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, well, I want to talk about the Thompson now. I'm just kidding. I want to introduce our newest member of our planning team, and please meet James Hirsch, who attended Ole Miss, grad school at UNC Chapel Hill, and has been back in Oxford for a little while working at the university, and we had the opportunity to hire him recently, so he's on board and expecting great things out of him. I think you'll enjoy working with him like we have.
Welcome. Welcome. Glad to have you.
What else you got?
Well, I just think,
Oh, sure. Yeah. Do you want me to?
yeah, go for it.
Yes, we have a baby in July. So Judy and Daniel will be covering me on maternity. And I don't know, a lot of you guys know Judy, but she used to be the director of planning, so.
Yeah, so you may see her over the next month or two, next couple months, as we ramp up for KB and on maternity. So,
Congrats.
Thank you. Also, the next time we see Kyle, he'll be newly trained in historic preservation by the Department of Art and History. Take him once to the team.
Look out.
good stuff. Good stuff. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Any movement on our empty lot? At least we got a fence around it.
The empty one.
So,
Come on.
What is it?
Can't see behind the fence.
Yeah.
Can we adjourn and ask a question?
Sure.
Can I just ask?
Yeah, why don't you ask a question?
What's going in Oakland?
I don't know.
What's
That's
the name
not-
of this pizza? What's the name of Old Minutes gonna be?
Don't know.
Is it Italian?
Don't know.
Look, it's just rumors.
let's adjourn and then chat.
Yeah.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Let's not. Let's just
Make a motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Bye.